Hey guys, time for another retrospective segment. Um, as you may know or may not know, a little bit over a week and a half ago was E3 2009. Now, I wish I could have attended. If it was open to the public, I would have loved to have gone. I'm pretty sure it's still kind of private gathering of developers and gamers. I think it's really hard to get tickets for it. I mean, it used to be open to the public, but I remember reading probably a year or more ago that it had become more exclusive and harder to get to. However, I did the best that I could to keep up with the updates and coverage that station or channels like G4 was covering, and the internet. You gotta love the internet. Information's all over the place there. The information highway. Um, so really, what I'm going to focus on for this retrospective segment is what I took out of E3. Uh, the announcements that came out of it, the announcements that are still kind of, surfing the web, getting picked up, uh, things that I'm still finding even though E3 is over, a lot of the big gaming news that's coming our way. Um, One of the things I'm going to focus on is Sony's presentation at E3, since I downloaded it off of the PlayStation Store. Uh, I didn't watch Nintendo's, and I kind of caught a glimpse of some of the stuff Microsoft was doing, some of the stuff Ubisoft was on, and EA. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I try to catch it. Like I said, I try to catch as much coverage as I could, uh, so that I can sit down here and talk about my thoughts on it. But I'm going to go over the stuff that I'm interested in, and everything else. Maybe I'll share some thoughts on some of the competitors like Nintendo and Microsoft. Um, so let's get started. Um, I'm going to start with some of the games that I'm really looking forward to. For instance, um, Ubisoft was one of the first conference things that I saw from G4. Uh, I didn't really watch a lot of it, but I did watch Assassin's Creed 2, and I gotta say that game has me intrigued. I wasn't, a big crazy fan of the first one. In fact, I never played it. I mean, I played a little bit of it and just see how the controls felt, and it was weird to me. But that was several years ago, and I'm more familiar with games like that. So I'm actually thinking now that it's on the greatest hits, I'm going to pick that game up so that by time Assassin's Creed 2 comes out in November, if I enjoyed Assassin's Creed, I'm going to be playing that. Uh, it looks phenomenal. It looks gorgeous, and I'm really interested in it. But other than that, I don't think Ubisoft had anything really interesting that I cared too much about. I mean, if they would have showed something like a new Prince of Persia, the sequel to the one they just did, yeah, I'd be more interested, but I'll probably have to wait till E3 2010 to see something or any news on that. Um, so let's move on to the other games. Um, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. I might be wrong. Fujito Uedo, the dude who does Team Ico, the people who did Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. Um, their third game in that trilogy, which is now collectively known as The Last Guardian. I'm intrigued by that. I mean, I think graphically it's appealing. I know that the main character was kind of downgraded graphically, but that's just because they don't have. I'm assuming it's because they don't have the model mocked up yet. But definitely, I'm intrigued to see where that game is going to be. Another amazing game. I can already feel it. I'm also going to be picking up Ico sometime in the near future since I have yet to play that game. But Shadow of the Colossus I have played. So I'm a big fan of that series. Another game that caught my interest was God of War 3. Now, you may have heard of this game. Uh, it looks phenomenal. I love the kills. I love how bloody it is, how gruesome and brutal. And it's awesome that it's coming out this March, next year, right around the same time as the other games that I'm anticipating, Final Fantasy XIII. Definitely after seeing some more stuff from E3, and especially the things that I saw on Avid Children Complete, I'm more intrigued by this game. What I would have wished that they would have portrayed would have been Versus 13. I haven't heard that much on that front, but oh, despite the fact that I'm really anticipating and eagerly awaiting some of the games that were announced at E3, and I'm going to be talking a lot about what I found awesome from this year. Here's something that I had a big problem with. And even though that this wasn't leaked out, like, the PSP Go was, or, the trailer for The Last Guardian, I took real offense to this. Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, 13 isn't even out yet, Versus isn't even out yet, and next year, along with 13, Square Enix is pumping out Final Fantasy XIV. I had no idea it was even in the works, and in fact, I was intrigued by it until I found out, guess what? It's online. I hate Final Fantasy XI. I'm pissed as hell. I'm still mad that 13 wasn't a single player. I don't care that it's online. If it had a single player, I would have bought it. But I'm not going to pay for some multiplayer game when, to me, Final Fantasy is a single player experience. And I don't like how the trend where people are trying to go multiplayer. I don't care. 14, even if 13 sucked, 14 was going to be like the ray of hope. So now I've got to solely rely on 13 and Versus and/or Final Fantasy 15. So I was really bummed about that. I mean, graphically it's amazing, but I'm pissed and kind of disappointed that it's going online. And here's another thing. They said it's exclusive for PS3 and the PC, and then I found out no sooner than after E3. Now they're thinking of possibly porting it over to Microsoft consoles, meaning 360. I hate it when they say something's exclusive and then they decide no, it's not. Yeah, I can definitely see, it might be more of a lucrative, money franchise to do that, more of a profit, but the gaming industry as a trend has definitely gone downhill. But I gotta say, E3 definitely renewed a lot of hope for the gaming community. So basically, those games were really intriguing. There was something similar to Little Big Planet. I think it was called Mod Racers Nation, and I'm not big on it's kind of I'm not big on racing games, but it's kind of like a Mario Kart meets Sackboy kind of feel. It's not something I'd be interested in picking up, but it's definitely expanding the whole play, create, share kind of thing, or race, create, share. It's the little catchphrase they used. I'm not interested in MAG. I don't care that some game can have 256 players playing multiplayer simultaneously. I'm not a multiplayer person. I just kind of explained that, didn't I? Something that I found intriguing coming out of E3, even though I'm not going to pick up this game, Soul Calibur I think it's Broken Destiny for the PSP. Kratos is going to be an optional character. They should have thrown that into the PS3 version of Soul Calibur 4. So that kind of bummed me out. I don't know how I could have possibly missed this. Dissidia comes out on the PSP August 25th. If you see my preview, you know I'm intrigued by it, and I can't wait to get it in English. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I'll continue my retrospective segment on E3 in part 2. Hold on.